Alright, you've heard of a chili cook-off before. Well, this is a Chile rellano cook-off, and it is not only Chile rellano cook-off, it's a vegan Chile rellano cook-off, and I have 1 hour to complete this challenge and defeat my brother, the chef, in the ultimate battle of the Chiles. So, I'm going to start off right here. I have a small kitchen. I'm not able to flame broil or roast anything on an open fire. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat these up on a dry skillet and get the skin nice and charred a little bit, and also get it ready to peel off. Oh, by the way, these are some bullhorn chilies, kind of like a, you know, it's not a poblano, it's not a hatch chili, but it's not an Anaheim. Some rellanos are made out of different chilies, but this is the bullhorn style. So we're gonna go ahead and let that cook up while I mix up some batter. Now, normally your chile rellano batter is going to be egg-based, pretty much mostly egg, white, or mostly egg, but this is vegan, like I said. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put in this mix that I have of this is actually chickpea flour or garbanzo bean flour with some bit of corn masa. So I like the corn masa in there to starch it up without having to add any starch, because, you know, the flavor of the batter. So nopale is cactus, and this is powdered cactus. Nopales, you know, I don't know if you ever had like chilaquiles or like just nopales tacos or anything like that. Then if you don't cook it right, then it could be a little bit slimy. But in this case, I want the slime, kind of like an egg has the slime on it. So I'm going to use this nopale powder to get that egg-like consistency. Both the starches from the chickpea flour and from this nopale flour, and a little bit of cornstarch, like I said, is going to give it an eggy type of vibe to it. So I'm going to go ahead and add some water to this and whip it up. Now I'm going to go ahead and use this Perrier sparkling water. The carbonated water, I find it helps you know, whip it up nice, like a nice beer batter or soda batter. So I'm just going to use some good old Perrier. And I'll just spend plenty of time whipping that up and trying to get it into the same type of consistency that you get from whipped egg whites. And then we'll go from there. Trying to get it to focus. There we go. So, I switched to a bigger bowl here because I really need to whip it up and get some air in there. The soda water was good, or the Perrier was good, but I really had to go ahead and get it nice and fluffy here. I also added a pinch of salt because I forgot to do that, and a little bit of lime juice for flavor because I like it that way. And I am going up against Chef Johnny, and he is likely to pull out some tricks of his own, so I'm going to take every advantage to add flavor to this. Meanwhile, I'm over here blistering up these longhorn chilies. They're starting to get there. Not quite, but on their way. I tasted the seeds. I like to do that because sometimes I leave the seeds in because they add some flavor, but in this case, these exact chilies, I like to taste them first, even if it's the same type of chile, because the seeds can kind of be super dense and bitter if they're a younger chili, which these might be, or if they're really super vine ripe and the seeds can be, you know, Chile Bravo style, which could be like a little hot. So whatever your preference is, but mine is to check out the seeds, perhaps remove some of them or all of them prior to putting the cheese in there. Now, my next order of business is going to be swing on over here and make the red sauce that I'm going to use. Now, before I get started with that sauce, over here I have this rice. It's simmering in some coconut oil here. I'm using coconut oil because, one, I'm out of other oil, and two, because it's a nice high heat oil and it doesn't release a lot of bitterness when it is exposed to higher heat. So I'm kind of using it for everything here in this meal. Hopefully it doesn't taste too much like coconut. I'd prefer to use avocado oil for this situation, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of brown this rice in oil here until it gets a little bit translucent appearance, and then I'm going to add water. So in the meantime, what I have here is these beautiful, I don't have any room. I'm going to go ahead and pull out my thing here. 1 second. Be right with you. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. What I have here is these beautiful heirloom tomatoes, and they are going to be perfect for creating the sauce. I know they look like weird looking black cherries, but they're not. They're tomatoes, and I'm going to make a tomato based sauce. So first I'm going to start by heating up this pan and just tossing a bunch of tomatoes right in the pan. Alright, I got the tomatoes cooking, and before I add any more water here, I got some tomato paste, organic fresh tomato paste, and a little bit of granulated garlic, and I'm going to mix that up here with this nice pre-toasted rice. It's not really toasted, it's more like pre-simmered in oil. So I'm just going to get that rice all dialed in with some tomato sauce or tomato paste and a bit of garlic before I start adding the water. Now once I add the water, I don't want to stir it too much because I don't want it to get too starchy and get all sticky. I want it to be nice and fluffy, so I'm just going to add a little bit less than 2 to 1 water because there's some oil already soaked into the rice a little bit. And that's just my tap water here, but that's what I got to work with. And I'll just give it a quick little scrape to get everything off the side and to get it all leveled out. And that's about it. Don't want to touch it too much because, as we all know, small lids don't go on too big pots. Now, that's not what I was going to say, but it is true nonetheless. Lid. Who's got the lid? Okay. As you can see, I got very limited room here in my kitchen. It's very, very small. It's a little bachelor pad kitchenette. But I'm doing the best I can here. So, these tomatoes are sizzling up. I like to get them to where the juices are all cooked on the inside of the tomato there, because it's going to be kind of a chunky style sauce compared to other chili rellano sauces, because usually you've got to render it down for like an hour from like a really thin sauce and thicken it up, but I don't have the time, and also I'm trying to get a lot of flavor into a little bit of material here. So there's the sauce. Alright, I've added a bit of tomato paste, a bit of fresh garlic, some little cumin, little oregano, a little chili powder, that's chile California, chile pasilla, chile New Mexico, and a couple other Mexican chilies that I have laying around in my pantry, powdered. And I'm going to go ahead and smash up all of these here tomatoes that I've been, just kind of blazing on high. And actually, I blazed them on high until they started popping like little bombs, exploding. So just when that started to happen is when I added that other stuff, and now I'm going to just kind of use my spatula here to crush them up a little bit, and then I'm going to add just a bit of water. To the mix, because you see it's boiling here pretty good. And I'm going to grab a pinch of salt and throw that in there for a minute. Maybe another little pinch of salt. And I'm going to mix it up. And then I'll turn this down to medium and let that simmer with the lid on. Actually, I'm going to crack the lid because I want it to get hot, but I also want the water to evaporate out of it to make it thicken up a little bit. Uh-oh, that's my brother texted me to tell me how sweet his chile rellenos are, but guess what? I got a couple tricks up my sleeve. So these are about to be to the point where I want them, so I'm going to go ahead and actually just unplug them because I'm using an electric skillet here. And I'm also going to take a bit of water and pour it right in there and cover them back up, because I want that water to cause them to shrivel up a little bit. and get softer. They're still pretty hard, even though they're got burnt flesh. And then I also that's gonna help it to steam off the little skin, so I can peel it, and then I'll move on to the next step. I got this simmering over here. I'm gonna go ahead and add these green onions right into there. And then stir them bad boys in. Them bad boys. Stir those guys in. And cover it back up. I'm gonna reduce the. Oh, never mind. I'm gonna still keep the, the seam coming out of there, so that can thicken up a little bit. We want it nice and saucy. And then we'll go back over here, and it looks like these are in about the perfect shape to stuff with cheese. What I'm probably going to do, normally I'd leave the stems on, and like I said, just kind of leave the seeds in there for the flavor, but in this case I'm not too sure about these. I'm probably going to slit them open and try to take the seeds out, and that'll probably cause me to lose the stem, but you don't need a stem. Okay, now seeds are out, the skin is off. I left a little bit of some of the black stuff on there because I like it. I left a couple little random seeds in there because they're gonna probably soften up once these rellanos cook, but I'm just gonna hit them on high for a few seconds now that the skin is off and try to just kind of, as you can see there, evaporate some of the water out of it that I added to soften them up. So I didn't really want them to be too soft, so they're pretty much just right. They're nice and firm, but not crunchy. So that is that, and while that's going on, I'm going to prepare the cheese that I'm going to make. What I've got here is some Miyoko's Maz. It's fermented live cultures cashew cheese. But, you know, knowing my brother, he probably made his own cashew cheese that he's been fermenting and culturing for days, and I just have this. So here's what I'm gonna do. Whatever you call it, so delicious dairy-free mozzarella shreds here, and this Miyoko's. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to actually mix the two. And I know that that seems weird, but the reason I'm doing that is because this Miyoko's mozz is like a little bit soft and moist, and this other soy cheese is really dry. And so I'm trying to recreate a bit of the consistency of like a cotija or queso fresco or queso Oaxaca, because those cheeses are the kind that I like to use in real chili rellanos, even though I don't eat those. Many years ago, when I was just a lad, that's how I made it. I've been vegan for 15 years now, so I probably forgot what it tastes like, but I think that the vegan version is going to be okay. I just like to, you know, mix it up with the cheese because I don't want just a gooey mess. I want like that richness that I would have got from the, you know, my favorite is like the cotija or the Oaxaca, like I said. So I got my chiles here, sliced open and stuffed with cheese. I have my batter ready to go right there, and I have my really hot oil. It's been a second since I whipped my batter, so I'm going to go ahead and whip that up real quick and get some air in there before I start. Give that a couple minutes, and also get the oil time to heat up a little bit more. I think it's good enough for right now. Now, normally you would dip the chile into the batter and then put it into there, but I am thinking that because it doesn't have any egg in it, even though I put some nopale flour in there, it's not going to stick as well. So what I'm going to do is what's called the pancake style. And I'm going to go ahead and lay down a tiny little bed for each chile right on the pan first. And get it nice and flat and also frying up good. phone call, but what I did was I went ahead and added those chiles to the batter that I laid down, and then I put some batter on top, and that way I can flip them over like that and make sure that they come out perfectly golden brown and delicioso. I think I might have a winner when it comes to the vegan chile rellano. We'll see how this goes once I get over to the chef's house. But look at those crispy, delicious, melty chiles. Just cooking away. I got this sauce here. It's going bonkers. Looks like my rice is freaking done up in here. Oh yeah, now I need to create some pot of beans. So I'm going to unplug this and let those finish cooking in their own juices. I'm going to go ahead and grab a taste of that crunchy stuff. Wow. Unbelievable. So, time to cook the beans. Alright, got my pintos cooking in here. We got some green onion and some Mexican spices. You know, a bunch of stuff. We got cumin, oregano, Chile, New Mexico. There's a bunch of stuff. And, you know, it's got some, little bit of Nito spice in there, because I like that. And then, I went ahead and took what was left of that, that mozz, and then I blended it here with this, what's it called? Plain almond yogurt, and it is turning out to be quite the sour cream. Oh wait, what did I put? Oh my gosh. I put a tiny bit of vegan mayo, tiny bit of the really soft vegan mozz, and some almond yogurt, and it is coming out fantastic. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a pinch of salt as well, and I'm even gonna throw a little bit more of that lime in there, and let it curd up with the lime flavor. Don't really need the flavor so much as the citric acid in there, which I'm having a hard time with one hand here cutting that, but I'm going to go ahead and add that lime as well. And there we have it. Vegan chile rellanos with some beautiful red tomato salsa, some vegan crema, nice pinto beans, and Mexican rice. That is going to be delicious. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the show, and stay tuned, because I might be making more episodes of me doing stuff. But yeah, check it out. I'm probably gonna end up putting like basically like the written recipe in the comments below, and or whatever in the description, and the ingredients and all that stuff. So, and then I'll actually right after this, I'm going to put a picture of the plate. And that's pretty much it. Yep, that's how we roll. Vegan chile rellenos. The vegan chile rellano cook-off challenge. And I'll let you know who wins.